This segment has been sponsored by ProBikes Caribe. ProBikes Caribe, get yours today. Before we get into today's interview, hear a little bit about the book from the author themselves.
Good day, everyone. My name is Callister Sango, and I am the author of the book Pink Agriculture. Pink agriculture signals a new, more innovative approach to agriculture, one which revolves around advertising, branding, and marketing of agricultural products and services. So it is available on my website at callistersango.com and targets persons who are actively involved in agribusiness.
Greetings, listenership. Welcome to TLC, Tropical Literature Creatives, the podcast where we interview authors and creatives about themselves and about their literary works. Today we have with us author Callister Sango, author of not one, not two, but three books. And Callister, welcome to TLC, Tropical Literature Creatives.
Hi, good day. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for agreeing to be interviewed by us. Can you tell us which wonderful island you are affiliated with?
I am from Dominica. That's located between Guadeloupe and Martinique. And yeah, we're known as the Nature Isle of the Caribbean.
Okay. We feature a number of persons of your countrymen as on this particular podcast. Having said that, can you tell us a bit about the books that you would have authored? Not the one book, not the two books, but the three books that you have going right now.
Well, just to reintroduce myself again, my name is Callister Sango. And yeah, like you said, I got an opportunity to write three books, all of which I am proud of. The first one is Pink Agriculture. That pretty much revolves around agriculture and agribusiness. So I did agriculture at the Dominica State College. So that's why this was my first book, because straight out of college, I had a project to do at school, and it was a field research project. And I think we had a research problem that we had to do. And my group's question was, do the small farmers experience any difficulties or any competition with the large scale farmers, especially those who already have a job and they do farming as a side thing? So we were trying to figure out if those people compete for marketing and different things, and therefore posing a challenge to the people who depend solely on agriculture for their livelihood. So that, I think, led to the creation of Pink Agriculture, or to the because during that research I realized that a lot of the farmers were complaining about a lack of markets for their products. And at that very same time, I started a business venture named Agrivertise. And Agrivertise was basically connecting buyers to sellers for agricultural products. And while conducting my own small business venture, I came across, different things that I think would really help to make things easier for persons actively involved in agriculture and in agribusiness. And some of the things that I realized, a lot of people in agriculture, they were not really focusing heavily on advertising, branding, and marketing of their products. And this is pretty much what Pink Agriculture is about. It focuses more on the innovative aspect of agribusiness, where you really don't just see yourself as a farmer, but instead of just doing farming, maybe you can find a name for your farm. So Pink Agriculture is focused on making the farmers see agriculture not as a hobby, not as a side thing, but more as a business. So then they start thinking of it as having a name, maybe a slogan, having a professional email, and using email marketing, social media, and those type of things. So that's pretty much what Pink Agriculture is about. A lot of people think it is targeting women in agriculture because of the name Pink,
I,
but
I mean, to be honest, when I saw the name Pink, that's the impression I was left with. But please correct that misconception.
but honestly, I just wanted to create a lighter feel for agriculture, because usually when people hear about agriculture, they think of the dirty aspect of it. Let me just put dirty in quotes. Like they think of they go into the farm, getting your boots dirty, sweat, and those type of things. But I wanted to focus more on, the technology aspect of it, advertising, like I said earlier, the maybe labeling and packaging. All of those are things that I discussed in my book Pink Agriculture. So yeah, in short, I say that it's an agribusiness success manual. So the book is pretty much like in pointer form, very easy template to follow. Yeah, so that's about it, and it targets persons who are actively involved in agriculture, like I said earlier: farmers, herbalists, florists, seedling propagators, agro-processors, fisherfolk. Those are the main groups, and anybody else who may be interested. I have a lot of people, a lot of teachers reach out to me already, teachers who teach agriculture at school. So I had a few of them reach out to me to express interest in getting their copies. And I had persons recommend that it can be used in schools. So I had some people who bought it and they actually told me that it can be used in schools, that they recommend that I go to the government.
Hold up, stop the presses. You're telling me that a book that you have been written has been recommended to be used in the school curricula in the country
Yes,
that you live.
yes, yes.
If that is not impressive, I don't know what is.
Well, honestly, I think it is a great book, and it's only after I got that recommendation that I took my time, I sat down and I read it again. And I say, but it is simple, but if you really watch everything that I'm talking about and you implement it, it can really help to change the way that a lot of people do business in Dominica and beyond. So yeah, if you were to look at the different topics, it will talk about effective communication, branding, labeling and packaging, marketing, starting a business. I think the very first chapter is starting a business. So it's very, very good. I usually compare it to a book that I had in first form. I think it's a poetry book. So I compare it in terms of size because it's not a very huge book. Like I said, it's like a manual. And yeah, so yeah, that has been pretty much what I did with Pink Agriculture. You'd
No,
like me to?
I think that it's very impressive. One, because of the perspective that you're coming from. Because traditionally, like you said, like you see, in the Caribbean, the point of view of agriculture is something that's in quotes dirty. Um, and,
Yes,
and here it is that you're breathing life into
right,
agriculture on your island
right.
and seeing that there's a different perspective to this. Um,
Yes.
it reminds me of an interview that I had with another gentleman from Trinidad. His name is Alpha Senon. And it
Yes, I
sounds,
know Alpha. He's
ah,
actually my friend on Facebook.
look,
I
I,
think so. Yeah. My
that,
farm, yeah.
yeah, and it's very interesting because both of you all have similar points of view in that
Yes.
we traditionally, like I said, we view agriculture as something coaty fingers dirty. And here it is, you're seeing that agriculture doesn't just have to be someone digging in dirt, that there are different sides to agriculture, that there are different processes involved in getting food from the farm into the plate in front of the person, whether it be marketing, whether it be packaging, whether it be promoting, all these things. And that is very interesting. Like I said, it breathes life into the industry. Now, so far, you just spoke about pink agriculture, but don't worry, we're coming back to pink agriculture because I don't think, we could just come off of pink agriculture just like that because it's an interesting book. The second book that you would have written, Kai and the Pizza Man, is that the correct title of the book?
Kai and the Pizza Cloud Man. It's actually my third, but that's my last book. But this book, it features my son because I am a mother as well. I have
Mhm.
one son.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after writing my first two books, a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, why don't you try a children's book? And I thought about it. I thought about it for some time, and then I said, you know what? Let me just give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened that I um I featured my son in that first try. So throughout the book, you will see images of my actual son in his animated version.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so Kind of Pizza Cloud Man is pretty much a book that is for children at least 5 to 7 years, because my son himself is 5 right now. Um, so I wanted to make it very simple. Um, so it's pretty much revolves around a young boy. He was asleep and he was dreaming that it was raining pizzas. But eventually, he happened to be speaking to the pizza cloud man, and he was asking the pizza cloud man to make it rain different types of pizzas. And every time the pizza cloud man would make it rain a particular pizza, it wasn't to his liking, because he was actually eating it in the dream, and he did not like the taste of the pizzas. So,
Mm-hmm.
eventually, towards the end of the book, the pizza cloud man finally granted him his wish and made it rain pepperoni pizza, which was his favorite. And when he was eating the pepperoni pizzas, that's when I think a hungry mouse started climbing up his legs, and he jumped up to like get rid of the mouse on his legs. And that's how the story ended, because when he jumped up from the dream, he actually woke up in real life. And then his mother came to the room asking him what is wrong with him, because he fell from the bed. And he was telling his mother about the dream, about the pizza cloud man and whatever, and how a mouse started to climb up his legs and so. And it ended with his mother asking him, "So do you want a real slice of pizza now?" And then he said, "Yes, Miss Cloud Woman." So it's actually a very simple book as well, but it's very nice. I got an opportunity to read it to his classmates at the
Mm-hmm.
primary school, like that's the Rosal Primary School in Dominica. Um so I got an opportunity. His teacher actually saw my stuff, and then she invited me to read it to his class and so on. So the feedback was great there. I got another opportunity from another teacher as well. She reached out to me to ask me to read to her students, but those students were how should I say it, physically challenged.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, and they too enjoyed it. I have a little clip of that on my Instagram
Ah,
um when I read it to them. So yeah, I think like the feedback for that book has been great as well. And that's about it for Kyle the Pizza Cloud Man.
okay. Okay. Well, I mean, having said that, that is an interesting story. Let's get on to the third book. The third book that, well, rather the second book that you would have written, but the third book that we'll be looking at now.
Yeah. So my second book is I Was Broke Because and this book is pretty much how should I say it? Uh I did a self introspection, if I should say, and then I realized that there were some things that as young people we do that can cause us to really fall back financially. So in this book, I wrote about 20 plus minor, maybe major things in some people's eyes that I was doing that could really set me back financially, despite, sometimes you have the opportunities there, but you don't grab onto them because, as young people, sometimes we have our own plans. We want things to happen on our own timing and all of that. So it's actually personal to my experiences. So throughout the book, you will see things like I left home too early. So as young people, sometimes before we get our first job, we feel like we want independence and we go out and to maybe rent a home or something like that. But just rent alone nowadays is like $800 a month. So sometimes if you stay at home with your mom, she might just ask you to contribute towards electricity, and you have that other 750 for yourself. So those are some of the things that I wrote down in that book, and other things like wanting to work for myself. Because from the way that I speak, I guess you would have realized that I am an entrepreneur at heart. But sometimes,
Yeah,
just
I gathered, I had some doubt, but after the things that you spoke about, yeah, I deduced that you were an
but
entrepreneur. I deduced that. Okay, continue.
usually people that are very innovative are entrepreneurial in spirit, people that write books and those type of things. um but yeah, so throughout the book I wrote about sometimes you don't save your money and those type of things. So a lot of times the money come in but you don't save it. I wrote about sometimes you will buy an item that you don't need just because maybe it is on sale. I spoke about sometimes people spending your money for you. So it's like you're being pressured to spend money that you don't have. So sometimes I realize simple things, simple things. So sometimes somebody will just see, like they will be selling shoes and they might just bring one for you and say, Callister, look, you owe me $85. But that is not something that I had in my budget. The person just bring their shoes for me, and because it is somebody that I know, then I just accept the shoes, and now I am in debt, $85. So it's like I thought about all those things and I wrote it together. Everything is there. Everything is there. If you go on Amazon, you might see the table of contents and so on.
Hmm.
So yeah, this book as well is a very, very good book. It's targeting persons between at least 18 to 30 years. Those are the years when I think very difficult years when you're really trying to figure out what to do with yourself, what to do with your life, what career path should you choose, and those type of things. So yeah. Uh-huh. And like I was saying, sometimes you want to work for yourself. And when you work for yourself, um, it's not easy. It's not easy to create a business, especially when you're low on capital, low on resources. So, as a young person, sometimes it is good to start off as an employee and then branch out to the employer. But a lot of us, sometimes we cannot take criticism, we cannot take advice, and we are stubborn, we want to roll on our own time, and those type of things. So we tend to take the path of entrepreneurship a little bit too early, and it can be detrimental sometimes. So those are just some of the things that I learned along the way, moving along.
One of the things, no, one of the observations that I make, and this is just me, persons who usually write books, they usually subject matter experts in the fields because they usually have to do research on the topic that they're writing about.
Mhm.
So here it is. One, you're writing a book on agriculture, but not just on the quoty fingers dirty side, but rather the business side of things. Here it is, you're also talking about managing finances, not just from the perspective of someone who has made the transition from being a young adult into an adult, but also from the perspective of someone who is an entrepreneur. The last statements that you made, and those are things that persons don't really consider when they're getting into it because some persons want to get into the entrepreneurship thing early. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing is wrong with that because we have seen examples of persons who would have done it and who, in the long term
Mhm.
view, and they were ultimately successful.
Mhm.
However, if it is that they would have a story to give to persons, they may say something similar to you. Work for someone first, understand things, see how the
A
things.
lot of time, just without tripping you, a lot of times those people actually get a better stats. So you might see somebody that is maybe 20 years already a business owner, but their parents might be better off than yours. So you have to consider all of those things as well. It's not everybody that is born with a golden spoon, if I should say. Some people are very easy to get things like grants and so on. So you might see they might pitch their business idea to some people and get a grant funding or something like that, but not all of us are that fortunate. So if you see that it is not working out for you, it is good to take the path of being an employee before you let yourself sink. And what I realized, just to add to that, it has an impact on your mental health as well. Entrepreneurship is not easy because I am talking from experience. And as young people, um, when things don't go our way, we tend to lose it, quote unquote. And I believe that as a young entrepreneur who is fighting to make it, you really need some sort of counseling, some sort of mentorship, because it is not easy. That's why I would recommend that if you're not mature enough, try to take the path of being an employee first, because it will take a toll on you mentally if you are not mature. And I think like young people don't get mature until they're late. Some people, maybe 5% might get mature in the early 20s, but sometimes in the late 20s, that's when you really, you go through life experiences and you understand how things work and how people operate and those type of things. I would say later down 28, 29, 30, sometimes even later than that. I even understand that men mature later than women still. So I think like we need to consider all of those things as young people before we choose a path of entrepreneurship. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say.
How did it happen with you? Did you find a mentor before you attempted these undertakings, or did you have to, quote your fingers, learn the hard way?
Honestly, I think I learned the hard way and I am still learning, because even like a day like today, I still have my business venture that I am working on, and I never let it go. And somebody will say, but Callister, why is it that you just keep at this thing? It is not something that I can depend on solely as yet, although I've been on it for quite some time. But I I don't know, when you are passionate about something, it can be very difficult to let it go. But I feel like uh maybe we need to balance things, get a mentor that can help you to balance things. I did have mentors along the way, but it's not somebody that is there constantly. I have my people that I call occasionally for like business advice. What do you think I should do there? Do you think I should send that electronic copy of my book to such and such person? So sometimes I do ask certain people certain questions, but in terms of having somebody to really comfort me emotionally, that is a different thing. And I think a lot of times as young people, we need that, especially when you're trying to become an entrepreneur. You need that emotional support. We get a lot of business advice. A lot of people will give their inputs as to why don't you build your website this way instead of that way? Why don't you add a add to cart button here instead of a donation button? So people will give advice like that based on what they see, based on what they experience, but not something that will help you to feel good, if I should say. And a lot of times we just don't feel good as entrepreneurs because things not happening as we would like it to. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think young people should consider being wise by that decision making to start your own business.
Well, I mean, from what you're saying, you sound relatively putty fingers new to the game, if I would go far as saying this. But at the same time, you seem to have a lot of experience in your undertaking so far. You had mentioned how you may have mentors who may give you advice on the technical part, the how-tos, or the
Right,
websites, the working hours, the managing employees, etc. But in
right.
terms of support where emotion and mental health is concerned, you don't really get much support for that. Uh,
Yes.
but seeing that
And
you are in it right now, can you give any advice to a person who may be interested in going down this path where mental health, where emotional support is concerned? What can they do? Should they join like a football team or a drama club or a social group or a riding group as a form of
I
getting
think
emotional? Mm-hmm. Yes,
I
yeah.
think one of the main things that we need to do is get involved in other activities,
Mm-hmm.
because one of the things that young people don't realize, when you work for yourself, it's like a 24/7 thing. I have a business called Agrivertise, and I think about that more than I think about breathing in a day. So well, we don't think about breathing, but just an example, right?
I understand
Um,
where you're coming from
and
because
that I believe happens to a lot of entrepreneurs. It is on your mind, especially if you are passionate about something. It is on your mind steady. You're working on it steady. People will see me on my phone, right? And
mm-hmm,
people will think like, why Callister always on her phone?
mm,
Trust me, I am not speaking to guys on that phone. I
mm,
am not doing anything but number one, thinking of ways I can make my business better, maybe learning things like coding, HTML, those type of things. So when
mm-hmm.
you have your phone and you on WhatsApp steady, I might be on WhatsApp just finding links, just linking up with people
Uh,
about that same business venture. Hey, what are you producing today? You have dashing, you have sweet potatoes. What do you have? So you will see me on WhatsApp there all day. And I might just be asking people if they have stuff, available for sale. Because I might have some customers and I'm just there scrolling to see who are the farmers in my WhatsApp. So as entrepreneurs, I would say try to find other things to do to get your mind off your business. It is not something that is very easy,
mm-hmm.
but but it will happen. So if you find yourself playing a, like you say, join a football club, you play a little game now and then, so you get that Sunday off to just play a game. I can guarantee you, if you stay home, you're going to focus on your business. So you just need sometimes to go out there, meet people, talk about different stuff, get involved in different activities that is going on in your community. Maybe volunteer to do something with somebody else. Or you could actually reach out to somebody to give you direct counseling, talk to you. Um, sometimes you have pastors that are there. Maybe you can trust somebody. Sometimes you just open a random conversation with somebody just to get yourself talking. Because again, like as entrepreneurs, we do plenty thinking. We do a lot of thinking and not enough talking. So I think like young people like who are, you know, in that thing should find themselves in business, should find themselves doing more talking with people because it helps to get your mind off of what you usually think about. So it could be any topic, just just talk, or maybe just go listen to some music or something occasionally. I tell you, when I take my computer, take my phone, I must open my website before anything else. People might not believe me, but it's like in me right now. I just have to do it. So if I find something else to do to occupy my time, then, or maybe find something else to captivate my interest for like an hour every day, then that hour might become a 2 hours or something like that. So maybe I can watch some podcasts. There are different things that you can do. Yeah, listen to some podcasts on YouTube. Just watch some it have some motivational stuff. So usually I would go, once you type in motivation in YouTube, it will give you a whole set of videos just to give you that passion back. So I think the options are here, the resources are there, the people that we can trust are there. We just need to know where to go and who to go to for what.
Um, Callister, that you have it has been a mouthful. Uh, I honestly did not expect this. Originally, we're talking about books, but here it is. You're giving advice and direction on things that we often overlook as entrepreneurs and as persons who are operating and running businesses. So this has been very insightful so far. Let's just change gears a bit and let's talk a little bit about the books in question. The books, did you publish them using the self-publishing method, or do you do it by going to a traditional publisher?
Honestly, I tried to use a publisher, but things didn't go out as planned.
Mhm.
Um, so I did try some time back. I think I had only Pink Agriculture at that time, but we did not get to seal that deal. So from that, I had to utilize social media and to try to get the word out myself. Um, I had somebody help me to set up my, I think, KDP account, they call that, for Amazon.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
right now, I'm still trying to get the to get used to Amazon and how to really do the uploading of my books and stuff and everything, understanding everything. But for now, I think I have two books on there, working on putting the third one, and maybe going back and review the two that are there right now. So yeah, I pretty much doing everything on my own as we speak in terms of promotion, um meeting people. uh I get most of the sales that I got through WhatsApp and Facebook, I must say, because that's what I do 24/7. If you if you follow me on either platform, you are bound to find something about my book on one of them almost every day. So that's pretty much what I use. My social media, I created an author page for that on Facebook. So Callister Sango is my author page apart from my personal page. So those are the things that I do to help push myself and push my brand and my books.
Well, you mentioned two other books that you have. Is it that we should expect more books from Miss Sango?
Right now, I think I want to focus on the three that I have. I was going to I was going to start working on another one, but I felt like it was good to take a step back for now
Mhm.
and focus on pushing the three that I have, because I think there is a lot more potential in terms of, the sales that I can get from the three that I already have. So I just want to focus on that and getting the hard copies that I need and stuff like that. And then um we will see. We will see. I want to push out a few more children's book, of course. I want to push out some more. So we will see what happens. But so far I have a few people that I would say are fans of Callister. So it's like anything that I write, they are ready. So
Go
I
Callister,
they
go
are
Callister.
I have a few that bought every single one of my books. So they are like that. It's like, what you write now this year, dear, send it for me. So yeah, I have people that love my writing that much that they will literally buy anything that I put out. So this is enough to inspire me. Like I said on previous interviews, when I wrote Pink Agriculture, I wasn't expecting to write two other books, but because of the feedback that I got, I realized that yes, I can do this, and as long as I keep going, I feel like I will eventually be a recognized author, which is the ultimate goal.
Well, of all the things that you mentioned there, one of the things that stand out to me is the transition um, of the transition between the genres of the books that you've written. Pink Agriculture, I might want to say it's an entrepreneurial book. I know it talks about the entrepreneurial side of agriculture. Then you
Right?
transition that children's book, and then you transition to a book about finance, because it essentially, in my opinion, it comes down to that. You're talking about decisions that you made that led to you being in a financial position that you were in. Um,
Mhm.
did you find any difficulty transitioning from one genre to the next?
Honestly, like you said, everything is somewhat linked. The book about uh Brooke, because this one is personal, so it is not something that I had to really transition into. It is something that is already or has been part of me, so I just had to document it. So I just had to think about my experiences, think about the mistakes that I made, and put it into a format that can make a book. But it's already inside there. It is already an experience that I can relate to. Um, Pink Agriculture. It is something, again, like I said, I actively spoke to persons in agribusiness because I was on the field connecting buyers to sellers. So it is not something that I had to think about. Again, I would literally be there speaking to a farmer, and I would realize, hey, if this man thinks of his business, thinks of farming more as a business, maybe then he will become more reliable.
Hmm.
So this caused me to write my book about how to become more reliable, because customers need to know that, hey, they can contact Farmer John for citrus. So you cannot just want to plant citrus on Monday, and on Tuesday you want to plant Irish potato, and on Wednesday you want to plant lettuce. Then how is somebody going to know for a certain fact that, hey, if I need citrus, this is where I go? Because right now in Dominica, I can say that I have built a pretty good brand in agriculture for myself in that sense, in the marketing sense, that people start to call me right now, hey, you have a supplier that have dashing. So it's like, even if I don't have the product myself, but they already know that I am linked to people who produce those things. So it is easier to just reach out to me because I already have the database. So this is how I have established myself right now, and that's what I want the farmers to do. So if I now have a database and I know which farmers I can go to for what, it then becomes easier on me. So that's why my book now is getting them on that level. So now we can work together for mutual benefits.
Oh,
That's it.
I see what you did there. I see what you did
Yep.
there. That was, I mean, I mean, I don't want to use the term criminal mastermind, but that was very clever. But
And just to add to that, my business has an online aspect. So sometimes I link buyers to sellers offline, but I'm
mm,
also trying to transition into a website where suppliers can really put their products on there and people can place their orders on there. But it's
mm,
specific to agriculture. So like I said, farmers, agro-processors, herbalists, florists, seedling propagators, fisherfolk, those are the people that will register there, create their shop, and they can actually create an account on their end, add their products for sale. Now, in my book, Pink Agriculture, I am encouraging people to utilize online marketing. Now, it's part of it. So it's not something that I had to really, again, transition into. It is something I'm just bringing you into. So it's the entire thing is part of my world, if I should say. And I think it is beneficial for all of us world, especially the people that are in agribusiness. So right now the world is becoming, I mean, come on, Facebook alone has billions, I think, of users. So why not utilize that? A lot of times, yes, you go to your farm. When you go there from sometimes 6 a.m., you come back at 7 p.m. You spend your entire life on the farm, but there are millions of people online looking to find out where they can find something. So all I am encouraging you right now is to snap a photo of your lettuce and just post it online, and you will be surprised. So it sounds simple, but it's marketing, it's advertising. And that is something I realize a lot of farmers don't take advantage of. They go to the local market. Yes, that's what we are used to, but we are missing a whole group of people. We are missing out. Just like last week, I got somebody message me from Facebook, hey, I want 500 pounds of seasoning pepper. So if she did not see that I was constantly there talking about those things, then she would not know that she could reach out to me for that kind of thing. So imagine if I was a farmer, which is something I am working on right now. If I was a farmer myself, then I would just be posting my stuff steady. Anything that I have, just post it. You will be surprised the amount of people that are looking for stuff. The hotels, the restaurants, they keep looking.
it has been a very insightful exchange so far, Miss Sango. I just have two more questions for you. My first question is, if it is that we wanted to get copies of your books, where can we do so?
Right now, I think everything is on my website. That's callistersango.com. So
Mm,
from there, you can branch out to Amazon and so on, but it's a centralized location for everything. If you want the hard copy, if you want the electronic copy, you can actually buy it directly from callistersango.com.
okay, okay. I mean, and a website like that is a platform that was not easy to put together, I imagine. I probably imagine there was a lot of research that went into doing that.
Well, yeah, you can say that. I have been well, I had prior knowledge as to those things, so that kind of made it a little easier for me. But I just wanted to, because so many people was asking me, where can they do this, where can they do that? So I wanted to just put everything in one platform or on one platform so that you can actually find out everything from there. So if you want to contact me, my email, my social media, I think everything about me should be at callistersango.com.
No, and that's very logical and very wise in my opinion. A while ago, I'm not too sure if everyone remembers it because sometimes we have like short memory spans when it comes to certain things. There was a time when Facebook wasn't accessible. We've learned that WhatsApp isn't infallible. So some of these platforms, they're not always as robust. And when we become dependent on them, it could affect our business and our bottom line. And the fact that you have a standalone website, I think that's a very wise decision.
Yeah, and what I realized too, I am somebody I always think of the bigger picture, and
Mm.
I try my best to get a unique URL, if I should say, a unique domain for myself. Even on social media, usually you find duplicates of like names and stuff like that. So I had to secure facebook.com/Callister Sango. So I tried my best to secure that. And I do that pretty much across all platforms. I mean, that's one of the things I promote in my book, Pink Agriculture, so that you stand out, you are unique. So if you go to Instagram, you will pretty much see the same Instagram / maybe Callister Sango, Callister Sango. Everything pretty much revolves around me. So I realized that I wanted to eventually develop a unique brand for myself. And if in case I get any bigger than I am right now, um, I think it would be a very wise thing to have my own domain name unique to Callister Sango. So that's why I secured it early in the event that things grow a little bigger, and just to make it easier for people right now, people who are searching me in the know.
And there it is, that criminal mastermind mindset. I mean, I say criminal mastermind, but it just shows that you have a lot of forethought and you put a lot of effort into this, and it is very commendable. It's very remarkable. And with 2024 right around the corner, we don't know what it is that we can expect from Callister Sango. Can you tell us a little bit of what it is that you have planned?
Well, in 2024, honestly, I think for the past few years, regarding my books, I've been pretty much writing and putting everything together. Getting people. I had Pink Agriculture for sure was professionally edited. Um, So yeah, I had a few people proofread and edit my books for me and stuff like that. So right now I feel I want to focus heavily on continuing my brand and growing my brand as an author, and also my I have a business entity on the side that I want to grow as well. So those are two of my main focus for next year regarding my personal dreams and goals. So yeah, I don't want to really branch out into anything new, but rather to grow what is already there.
I like that, and I like that metaphor, how you use the term grow and how it kind of links to agriculture as well, because I saw the link for that as well. I don't know if that was intentional, because it just seems like a lot of the things that you do, they're not, impulsive, that they're carefully planned and they're carefully thought out.
Because
Uh,
everything is a part of me. Everything that I put out is already a part of me effortlessly. Yeah.
all right. Okay, well, thank you very much, Miss Callister Sango. And one of my takeaways is the term that you coined. I think it's agrivatize.
Yes.
Agrivatize. So
Yes.
yeah.
Thanks very much. Agricultural advertising. That's a mixture of two words. So I put them together. Again, my book Pink Agriculture talks about that. Um, yeah, so I am somebody I like to mix words together, especially when it comes to creating business names. And yeah, so you have things like Snapchat. Snapchat is one of the names that I would love. Even Facebook, another name that I would love, because they like merge names. So in my book, I talk about those type of things using abbreviations and using existing words and stuff like that. Very interesting little book. But yeah.
Nah, it is. It is. And we look forward to the other offerings that you have in 2024. So who knows, we may see more more words like that in the books that you put together?
Of course, of course. And as you say that, I realize I may actually I may actually go back and just because even for Kai and the Pizza Cloud Man,
Mm-hmm.
somebody recommended that I do an activity book for that. So like she was telling me like a coloring book, maybe I could look into that with the same theme but just something that the children can crayon or something like that or color. So those are some of the things that I have in the pipeline. Not sure how soon I might start working on it,
Yeah.
but yeah, I usually try to take the feedback that I get from people who express interest in my book, and based on what it is, I try to bring it to fruition.
Okay. Okay. Well, we look forward to hearing more about it. And again, if you do come up with any other books, write any other books, reach out to us at TLC. We look forward to hearing about those books.
No problem. Thank you for having me as well.
Well, I thank you for agreeing to be interviewed.
My pleasure. I will do anything for that promotion of my books.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Okay, well, do have yourself a blessed day,
Okay.
and hopefully we'll meet again across the world somewhere.
Yeah, the Caribbean is pretty small. So, yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. You've been listening to TLC, Tropical Literature Creators. If you've heard something of interest or something you like, reach out to us. Reach out to our authors. Follow us on social media. We look forward to hearing from you.